So yesterday we saw that how you can use driver.findElement command and give the criteria by which you want to find the element, by the name, by the ID, by the XPath, right? When you write by dot, okay, you get a lot of locator strategies over here, fine, which you can use to identify the element, right? We'll study about them, fine. And driver.findElement command always returns you the first web element found on the page. Okay, right. And we saw XPath as well. We saw when do we use XPath when name or ID is not present. Okay, then obviously we go for an XPath. Fine. And in out there, I was actually telling you. Hold on. That XPaths are of two types, right? I told you that one type of XPath is known as complete or also absolute XPath. Okay, and the one which I derived yesterday from the web page, this kind of XPath is also complete or absolute XPath. One is known as partial XPath. Okay, complete XPath has told you that it's not good to use because if something changes in the web page, it starts from the base of the HTML page, right? If something changes in the web page in between, then everything will go for a toss. Okay, that's why we don't use complete XPath. We use partial XPaths. Hold on, right? And this is the browser which I have opened. Right? Okay, suppose I again go to the site gmail.com. Hold on. Right, and I use Firebug. In Firebug, I had installed Firepath, which was an add-on on top of Firebug. Right, using Firepath, you can actually investigate anything on the web page. Fine, and after that, you get the source code as well, right? And in Firepath, you get the complete XPath or absolute XPath. Now, if you go here and you actually uncheck the option generate absolute XPath, okay, and then you investigate with Firebug, you will get something known as partial XPath. Sorry, this is partial XPath. You copy this, fine, and I'll put it over here. Now, what do you mean by partial XPath? How it is formed? Okay, look, Firebug forms the partial XPaths on the basis of ID of the element, right? Double slash, a partial XPath will always start with double slash, always. Okay, and double slash star, what does this mean? This means all the elements on the page, whether it's a link, whether it's an input box, whether it is uh, a button, fine. Double slash star means all the elements on the web page. Okay, if I write double slash a, what does this mean? This is the tag name. After double slash, you are supposed to put the tag name. A anchor tag is the tag name for links. All the links on all the web pages have the tag name A. Please note this point. So double slash A will represent all the links on the page. If you look at the text field has got the tag name input, right? So if I write a double slash input, this will represent all the components on the page with the tag name input. In matter of fact, like if you look at a checkbox also has the tag name as input. Okay, so double slash input will represent all the elements on the page having tag name input. Right. If you look at the email field, fine. The email field has got ID as email and input as tag name. So if you write over here /input with ID equals to email, it will not represent all the input fields on the page. It will represent the input field on the page with ID as email. Okay, right? That is how Firebug is forming the XPath. It is not typing the tag name. It is writing /*. That means all the components on the page, and from all the components, get the component with ID equals to email. Okay, right? Fine. This is how a partial XPath is made. I'll give you another example. For example, you go to the website in.rediff.com. Fine. In Firepath, I have not selected the absolute XPath option. Fine. If I look at the XPath for this link, say videos. Okay. I look at the XPath for this link videos. This is the XPath which we are getting. Okay. Now I will tell you how this XPath is retrieved from the page. Alright. If you observe this carefully, fine, then the videos, this is videos, it's present in a tag called U. This U tag you can map over here in the XPath. Okay, this U tag is not having any ID. Okay, so what Firebug does is that it moves one step above into this div tag in which U tag is present. Right. So this div tag can be mapped over here. This is the second division tag inside this division. Right. Okay. Now this div also has got no ID. So Firebug moves over to its parent tag, which is this one, and this div tag can be mapped over here. Right. So it keeps on moving up, then it moves to this link. This link can be mapped here. Then it keeps on moving above this way till the time it finds an element with the ID over here. Okay. So basically it keeps on moving up till the time, hold on. Yeah. Till the time it finds this division with the ID home wrapper. Okay. So it starts from this division. Inside it, it goes to the fifth division. Inside it, there are a lot of divisions, and I think this is the fifth division. Right. And then inside it, it goes inside fourth link. There are many links inside this division. Right. It goes inside the fourth link, which is this one, and this is how it moves till the time it reaches videos. So it tries to find an element with an ID. Okay. And it starts with that element. Okay. Right. I hope you got my point. Right. Now a question is being asked, how about if video changes from div 2 to div 5? Yes, then you will have to change your XPath. Obviously, if there is a change in the page source structure, then you will have to change your XPath. Okay, right. Fine. The advantage of XPath is that even though the content changes, XPath will never change. For example, I go to the website timesofindia.com. It's a news channel website. Okay, it is a news channel website. So this is the headlines. Right. This is the headline. Fine. Every day the headline will change. But if you look at the XPath, this is the XPath for headline. The XPath will remain same. Okay, you have to just use XPath 1. If the content changes, then it is fine. But the XPath will remain same. That is the advantage. Okay. Yeah, in that case, obviously Kishore partial XPath is same as full XPath. Look, you cannot just expect your code to work if something changes in the application. If something changes in the application, obviously it will impact your code as well. But the way we make the code is in such a way that the impact should be minimum and it should be easy to be changed. Right? You cannot expect that application changes and I will never change my code. That scenario will never happen. Okay, but yes, we build the code in such a way that if something changes in the application, it's very easy to change the code. Okay, now tomorrow if this link changes, for example, the position of this link changes from this location to this location, there are possibilities, there are very high possibilities that the XPath will change. Right. If there is a major structural change on the website, then probably the chances are there. But for but if for example there is a major structural change on the Gmail site, okay, the XPath of email is only this much, that is the ID is email, then obviously this XPath will not change. Even if this text field moves from this location to this location and if the ID remains same, the XPath will remain same. That is the advantage that of an element having an ID. So that's why generally the automation testers they always tell developers that go and give an ID to every element on the page, right? But it's not possible for them as well to give ID to everything, right? Fine. So this is how XPath is made. That is, it finds the element with an ID, and it till the time it never finds an ID, it keeps on moving up. Okay, right? Now, you can use the partial XPath over here in the code as well. Okay, you can go over here, create a new project, right? Java project named as day 5. Add the Selenium jars. I'll just copy the file which I created yesterday, identifying elements over here. Right. So you can identify the email field by the XPath. You can write over here by the XPath. Fine. And I'll give the XPath expression over here. This is the XPath expression. Right. So if I run this time, this will also work. If I run this will work. Yeah, I'm executing on Chrome. You see that? It's working. Fine. Now, one thing, guys. Okay, over here I'll just change to Firefox Driver. Fine. For using one component, I am using two lines. First line extracts the component from the web page. Okay. Now I have not taken up the scenario. What if I provide a wrong XPath? Okay. What will happen in that case? Or if the XPath which I have provided is changed in the application, what will happen? Obviously, it will throw an error. Okay. But how do you recover from that error and all? I'll talk about it in the coming classes. Right. Just be with me. Fine. So over here, uh, web element email equals to driver dot find element by this XPath and email dot send keys. You type in whatever you need to write. So basically, to interact with one component, fine, I am writing two lines. I can avoid this. Okay, I'll just comment this complete code. I can simply write everything in one go as well. You can simply write driver dot find element by the XPath email. Right, this XPath. Right, this will result into a web element. Fine, and on that web element you fire send keys. You type in something. Okay, when the execution starts from the left side to the right side. So first this part is executed, the element is extracted, and then send keys is fired on it. Similarly for password as well, you can write driver.find element with the ID password dot send keys pass. Right. Similarly for the sign in button as well, I'll not click on sign in button, I don't want to do that. For extracting the text as well, you can simply write driver.find element this dot get text. Sorry, I'll take the text over here, right, and I can print it. Right. Okay, so this is very simple. You have to write everything in one line. You don't have to write two lines to extract the component. In the beginning, I told you because that was a very that was a very early stage. But everything can be written in one line. Please note the execution starts from the left side to the right side. Okay, and then the keyword, the web element functions are actually fired. So this web element is extracted first. Okay. Also another thing, please note, Java is a case sensitive language. What do you mean by case sensitive language? Capital letters and small letters, they matter a lot. Sometimes people do a mistake in Xpath. They keep the email E as small. It will not work. Okay. Even when you write system.out.println, if you type in small s, you will get an error. Okay, you don't need to do that. You need to type in capital S. Okay, right? I hope you got my point. Fine. Now, moving further, if I run this, this will work. That's not a problem. If I run this and sorry, I got a little cold. So over here, you you see that it runs fine. Now observe carefully. The browser which is opened by Firefox is a little different. Sorry, a browser which is opened in the run session is very different rather than the browser which you have normally on your PC. Okay, right. This is the browser which I have on my PC. Okay, it's hold on. It's called Firebug. Fine. It might also have some bookmarks. For example, I bookmark this page. I will bookmark this page. Fine. So this page will show in the list of bookmarks, right? But the browser which is opened by Selenium, if I even if I close the browser and even if I open it again, fine, you will find that the browser which is opened by Selenium hasn't got Firebug. Okay, rather in bookmarks, you will not see the bookmark which I made recently, the Times of India page. Right, you will not see all these things. Right, the Firebug is actually not present over there. So why this is the case? Right, why is this the case? Fine. Um, all right. So you will see that the Firebug which is opened is very different in this case. So why is this thing there? Okay, why is Firebug very different? Oh, sorry. Why is Firefox very different? Okay, this concept is because of the concept of Firefox profiling which happens. Okay, do you know the concept of Firefox profiling? Do you guys know about the concept of Firefox profiling? No. Okay. Um, Look, Firefox profiling is something like, how do I tell you? Yeah. Say you have a PC, right? You have a computer. Fine. That computer is being shared by multiple people. Say you and your friend are sharing the same computer. Okay. You want that when you start Firefox, you should see your set of settings, okay, and you want that when your friend sees Firefox, when he launches Firefox, he should not be able to see your settings. He should be able to see his set of settings in Firefox. Okay, it is something like a Firefox for every different user who's using the PC. Okay, with the same login, right? So this concept is achieved through Firefox profiling. Right? I can create a Firefox profile. Right, I can to create a Firefox profile. You can close Firefox from File Exit menu. This is very important. You need to first of all close Firefox from File Exit, right? And then go to your Start menu and type firefox.exe -p profile manager. Okay, right. Hit enter. Hold on. Firefox.exe is my Firefox open? Hold on. I'll again close it. Yeah, this window comes up, right? So probably the Firefox was not closed properly. You need to close it through File Exit, right? You will see a Create Profile button over here. This is the default profile which is present in your machine. Fine. I'll create a new profile, say known as Selenium, right? So this is Selenium profile which is created. Okay, you can start it, and you will see a brand new Firefox opening up. Right. This is Selenium profile. It will not have any firebug. It will not have any bookmark. It will not have anything. It's just blank. Right. Say I go to the page google.com and I bookmark this google.com page. Hold on. Right. Also I add firebug to it. Because you know what, when you are testing with Selenium, okay, you are when you are developing scripts, you are moving from one page to another page, to another page, right, to another page. And suppose if in this page some error happens and the script fails, and you need to investigate that page, right? While developing the scripts, you need to investigate the page on which the script was running. So you don't have firebug on that page, because what happens is that Selenium, it creates, whenever you write new Firefox driver, it creates a new Firefox profile internally and it launches it. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll ask Selenium not to create a new Firefox profile, rather open the profile which I just created. I created a profile with the name Selenium, right? So I can ask Selenium to launch that particular profile. Okay, right. So this is why we use profiling. Right, hold on. Let me add Firebug to this profile. Just hold on. So I'll add Firebug to this profile. Fine. Okay, so in this profile I have installed Firebug, and here is Firebug. Okay, so Firebug is there. Right. If I close my Firefox from File Exit, okay, and again give the same command firefox.exe-p profile manager, right, and you will see the two profiles. Okay. What is the current version of Firefox supported by Selenium? This is the question being asked. Look, I have also worked with Firefox 30. It works fine, but 31 was giving an issue. Okay, so probably I think till 30, but you can also check it once, right? That's my guess right now. All right. So So this is the Selenium profile which I just created. Now in this profile I have a google.com bookmark, I have a Firebug. So I want this profile to be launched by Selenium. I don't want the normal regular profile which is created by default. Whenever you write new Firefox driver, a default profile is created and that particular default profile is just launched. Okay, so you don't want that to happen. Okay, you want that whenever you write Firefox driver, an existing profile from your PC should launch. What is the advantage of launching an existing profile from PC? The first advantage which I told you was that you had uh, you have Firebug in it, right? If script fails, you can actually investigate the page with Firebug. Secondly, sometimes what happens is that you want to work on a proxy, you want to test on proxy. So in that particular profile, fine, you can have your proxy settings done. I hope you're getting my point, right? You can go to network in advanced and you can configure your proxy settings over here. I hope you're getting my point. Sometimes while doing testing, we need to put up a proxy server, right? So probably in that case as well, you can make a Firefox profile, define a proxy in it, and launch that particular profile every time whenever you launch your program. Okay, fine. Now, how do I launch that profile with the code? Okay, to understand that concept, you first need to understand what do you mean by uh, constructors in Java language. You need to go back to Java and understand the concept of constructors. Right. For example, I have a class known as car. Okay. In this car class, I have got variables such as string name of the car and int price of the car. Okay. Right. Suppose I create a new class known as car driver. Okay. So over here, I create the object of the car class. I write car C1 equals to new car. Right. And then I have to initialize this object. I'll write car dot name is say car A. Car dot price is 100. Fine. Similarly, I can create another object. Okay. Name it C2. Right. Give it some different price. Fine. I can create as many objects as I want. Okay, but the overhead associated with me over here is that I will have to initiate each and every property of the object like this. Okay, we are lucky that car has only two properties. What if car had around 100 such properties? Name, price, weight, number of passengers, volume, engine specification, whatever you can add a lot of properties to this car class. So then if it would be having 100 different properties, then I would have been initializing each and every property for each and every object separately. If I'm creating 10 objects, then I'll be adding 1000 properties because every object has got 10 properties. Okay, so this is the overhead that every object you create and then you initialize that object separately line by line. Right. So creation of object and initialization of object is a separate process over here. Right. So what we do is that we merge this process. We merge the process of creation as well as initialization of object into a single line. Right. And that is done with the help of constructors. Okay. A constructor will create the object as well as initialize it to certain values. Alright, fine. For example, I go to car class and over here I write public car. This is a constructor. A constructor has got no return type. I'm not writing void or I'm not writing any return type over here. But I'm writing that the name of the constructor is same as the name of the class. Okay, this is important, right? This is the default constructor. Inside it, I write system.out.println in car constructor, right? Whenever you create the object of this car class, whenever you write new car, you will see that this particular constructor will be called. If I execute this code, new car is written 2 times. 2 objects are created. So when you run this code, in car constructor is printed 2 times. If I write new car third time, fourth time, like this, if I run the code, it will be printed 4 times. Okay. Every time you create the object of the class, the constructor is called automatically. Right? So you can actually create a constructor like this. You can write public car, okay, a constructor which is different, a little different, string name and string price. So this car constructor accepts the name and the price of the car as well. Okay, so when you call that particular car constructor, say I'm writing car C3, I can pass the name and the price at that time only. I can pass the name as C and price as 2000. Okay, so this thing, oh, sorry, it should be int price. Fine. Over here, I am creating the object, and along with that, I am passing over string and int. So automatically Java comes to know I need to call a constructor in which a string and an integer is accepted. Okay, so it automatically calls this car class constructor, and inside it you can write the name of the class is equal to n, which you just passed over. Okay, and price is equals to p price, which you just passed over. So what will happen is that the object will be initialized and created in one line. This car constructor, when it is called with the name and the price of the car, and with the name and the price, the initialization, it happens instantly. If you write over here C3 dot, or if you write system.out.println C3 dot name, right, and C3 dot price, it prints the name and price. If you run this, see, it prints the name and price. Right, I hope you got my point. Right, guys? Is everybody okay with the concept of constructor? That a constructor will actually, okay, it will be called when you create the object of the class, right? And you can have constructors which can accept parameters, okay, and you pass over the name and price parameter over here, and it initializes the object as well. Are you okay with this concept? Is there anyone who is not able to understand? Right? Okay. Now, if you go to the website seleniumhq.org, and if you look at the Java documentation, oops, what happened to Java docs? Okay, the link broke. This is not good. Hold on. It's not coming in Eclipse as well. I think they have got some problem with the server right now. No, it's not coming up in Eclipse as well. They have got some server problem. Okay, I wanted to show you constructors for Firefox Driver. Okay, hold on. Let me just go to Google and type Selenium WebDriver Java. Okay, that's opening over here. Right. Over here, if you look at the class Firefox Driver, okay, then in every class there is a constructor field summary, okay, as well as constructor summary, right? These are all the constructors of Firefox Driver. This is the default constructor which we use whenever, like, we had been creating the object of Firefox Driver, we had been creating it like this, right? Now there are other constructors as well, one in which you can pass over capabilities. This is used in Selenium GRID. Okay, we'll talk about GRID, we'll talk about it later on. Fine. But if you look at the one of the constructors which is in the end, in this you pass over the object of a class known as Firefox Profile. Okay, right. Firefox Profile is a class which denotes a profile on your PC. Like I created the profile Selenium, right? Okay, so that profile can be actually depicted with this Firefox Profile class. Okay, so if you go over here, and what you need to do is that if you want to start that particular Firefox profile, hold on, right. Now if I am writing WebDriver driver equals to new Firefox driver, right? So what is happening is that a new profile is getting created. Okay, now to launch the custom profile named as Selenium, which we just created, well, you need to actually create the class, the object of a class known as profiles ini. Right, this is the internal class in Selenium. Okay, technically this class represents all the profiles on your PC. All the Firefox profiles which are there on your PC is denoted by this profiles ini class. Okay, now from all the profiles, you get the profile, use the function profile.getProfile known as Selenium. Okay, and this getProfile function returns you the object of a class Firefox profile. My profile equals to this. So you get the Firefox profile object, right, through the function profile object, profiles ini object dot get the profile Selenium. So you get the Firefox profile object which you can pass over inside the constructor of Firefox driver over here. So when Firefox driver is initiated, it will launch my profile which is Selenium. Okay, so if I run this code, you will see that this time a Firefox will open up which will have Firebug, and unfortunately it's not having. Just a minute, it's launching a new profile again. Just a minute, I'll close it from file exit. I'll close my Firefox. Hold on. Okay, as I told you, Java is a case sensitive language. Over here I have created the Selenium profile and I had S capital. Okay, So I need to keep S capital over here. This was the mistake I did. Right. So you have to be a little careful with the upper caps and the lower caps over here. And when you run this, you will see that Firefox launches. It's got Firebug in it. Fine. It's got the bookmark which we had done for Google. Right. So this way, when you launch Firefox, you can actually investigate the page as well with it, because this is very important. Okay, when you're developing scripts, you just cannot afford to not have Firefox in the browser in which you are doing testing, right? Because things don't work simply. They will give you a lot of problems. You will have to investigate the same page. So that is why we use this particular code. Okay, so files ini, and you create the object of Firefox driver like this. Okay, fine. Right. So now I talked about XPaths as well. I told you how to build your custom XPath. This is a custom XPath. Fine. So hold on. Right. So guys, I'll stop the class today early.